The fight was great, man, and you dropped him in the second round. These are my thoughts, and then I'd love to get your thoughts. So the first round, right? I thought you kind of stole that one. I thought the second round was so close, man. You had definitely the most dominant part of that round, but he seemed to get the control time more. So it just depends on like what rule set you're kind of like valuing there. And then the third round, he seemed to have won that one. I'll give it to him. But man, all of it, actually, even the third round, looking back, like you had that one pretty close too. So it's tough, man. I guess how are you looking at it?
I'm not one of those people who ever cries about it. The judges about it, and like, oh, what am I going to do? Pass. I got I got to fight April 12th. How I look at it is just like, yeah, drop somebody, you drop them twice, you hurt them a few times. I don't know how that weighs more than just somebody kind of get control time and stuff. But I also look at it like I get the scorecard, I get where they say it, and it doesn't take from a guy. He did his job. And he kind of was like more like survival, right? And if you're trying to survive, to me, it means you're dying, right? Like if it wasn't like, hey, I'm gonna throw down with this person, I'm gonna do this. Like his teammate George Masvidal said Johnny by murder. They're all talking about this thing. I see the comments, right? But then it's like, does it stand true anymore, right? A lot of people thought, oh, this guy's gonna get molly. Like I got my, oh my gosh, my dog just broke my door. Beacon, no. um, how did you do that, buddy? Um, I always look at it like your that fight to me showed that okay, if he's considered one of the best middleweights in the world, the best middleweight in the world, then really took it to him, right?
Yeah.
Without like being disrespectful here. It says to me that it says to me that it says to me that like you just know where I stand now. That I don't have to talk about it. About everybody always questions like I'm not the one going around saying, oh, the fight was close. And I think you could have won. Arguably, you were on round one. You dropped him round two. You hurt him again. He just had control time. That's kind of like, to me, it's like making an excuse for somebody to be. You're just trying to survive. Like, it's like whatever. Like, I don't see it like that. But you talk about a fight and getting wrecked and getting hurt and damaged and just trying to survive. Now, how I look at it is like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna get better at those parts. I'm gonna get better at the wrestling. Like, I started training at 24. I've been wrestling since I was 5. I've been boxing since I was 5. I've been doing any of this since I was 5. So I know that, like, the ceiling, there's no ceiling. I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. And uh, it inspires me. It motivates me. It encourages me, and it just lets me know that there's my respect. Like this guy's at the top level,
Right.
and we took it to him. Right? You're always gonna remember me. You're gonna remember you got dropped. You're gonna remember you got hurt multiple times. You're gonna remember that you're missing and you got countered. Like there's gonna be all those different things, but it's also just says like, hey, I'm gonna remember like, you know what? Like I want to get better. It's funny. Like you talk about Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen says Impa won round 2 1. Impa
And
won
then he's
round
like,
2
but he
based on
lost.
commentary. Then it's like Impa. But yeah, it's like these commentators, these people don't know what they're saying. They're just gonna say whatever favors their job. I don't know. Like I really don't care. It's just like I'm just gonna like I'm gonna keep fighting. I'm gonna put my hat back on. I'm gonna go to work. And that's how I look at it. It's like I know who I am. I don't need a belt to tell me that, right? I know if I beat you up and they give it to you, I don't have to argue it. You could just look at all the comments. You can look at all the people who are into fighting, right? And I mean people who are gonna support you biasly. People who support me bias, and people are gonna support him with bias. That's like that's your people in your camp. They're supposed to, you know. Um, so I just look at it that way. Like I always say this, like I won a fight, I lost a decision. There were errors on my part in that fight that I wouldn't make, that I did make. And Johnny's very smart. He's a high level fighter, and I could definitely see why the judges gave him the nod, and he earned it. So I get better, I move forward, and like I just thank God that I get to keep doing what I love healthy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it was very close. I guess where did you see that you could have done better in that fight? Like that takeaway that you probably walked away with?
Oh man, like how I defended the takedown, so like re-wrestling, um, not listening to like oh how do you say like just like in a sense like some parts of the fight maybe like coaching like okay like you're ahead here, you're ahead here, you're ahead here. Whereas in a sense, like just keep pushing that pace more, right? I know I could have. I think I read a little too much in the fight where I could have honestly. What is this dog doing? Stop it, Beacon. Sorry, he is acting out today. Um, uh, Parts of the fight where I could have just push the pace more, right? And I'll show it. I tell you this: when I get that rematch, I won't miss, and that's it, right? God bless it. PFL wants to set it up. Bellator wants to do it again. Johnny's a man. He's game. Like I really respect him. He wants to do it again. I won't miss. I'm sure he's gonna bring it too. And that's what like and not every fighter in life gets that quote unquote rival or that person that they can go back and forth and have 3 fights with. Right? So if I get that opportunity, let's get after it. Let's do it next week. Let's do it next year. Let's do it next month. I'll do it in between the season. Just send me the contract and I'll show it.
Okay. Now I have two things off of that, which is one of the thoughts I had about that fight, and you're going to try to go for that rematch, right? So we don't want to, I guess, break it down too much. But something as a viewer, somebody who's not trained like you, just going to put it all out there. I thought in that second round, after you dropped him, might have been a turning point. I thought that you had amazing composure, just like in your last fight. But after you had dropped him, it seemed like the composure slipped just for that round, and you were able to kind of gather it towards the end of the fight, but it took you a minute to kind of regather it, it seemed like, from my outside perspective. What are your thoughts on that?
I can see we could think that. I mean, my overall sit, my overall um, composure, stayed the same. I was cold. I mean, I just feel like where I messed up was that I rushed the finish. It's also too like going for the kill. You want to kill the guy, like you're not here just going to be like patty cake, right? I had the opportunity, I struck, and I took the shot and I missed, right? Now it's just how I. And they said when I regained that composure, it's just like oh, okay, like figuring it out. Um, look at this guy just acting a fool today. I how I how I put it together. How I put it together could have been a lot better, the way I was going to finish him, right? You dropped him
Mm.
again, dropped him once, dropped him again. And I think
Maybe
that
like
could
let
have
him
been,
stand up instead and walked away. Like, is that something you might have considered,
yeah,
or
yeah, probably. That could have been
maybe?
helpful. I don't think he would have got up really too well. If I did what
Yeah,
I did when I fought Martin Hendrick, maybe he would have just been out.
yeah. But
I've
it's
never
all
got it right. You
hindsight,
can
you
always
know.
say hindsight's 2020 now.
Yeah.
So